Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of Controllers and Coffee. I am joined today by two awesome people. I have here Dylan Smith. How are you, mate?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's good. Hey,
And
everyone.
Gray Aussie Gamer is joining as well. Welcome, Gray.
Hey, man. Hey, guys. What's happening?
Not
What's
much,
happening?
not much. Thank you for
Good to
joining me
be.
tonight.
Hey, no worries. It's really good to, like I was saying before, not to be a hosting of anything. It's just I just invited in and can chill and talk, and
Sit back.
it's much less stressful and much less work to do.
Yeah, man. Just enjoy the ride. Just let
Yeah,
Elliot do the work.
that's
Exactly.
right. I am.
The
I'm
pressure's on me.
freeloading the hell out of this
True.
one.
This is the first time I've podcasted in like months too. This is huge.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, and to have Elliot hosting too. That's fantastic. That's again a load off my shoulders.
Well, I got you, boys. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about the awesome latest trailer for Ghost of Tsushima. Going to be talking a little bit about the 5th year anniversary of The Witcher 3, and then possibly a bit about that fancy Unreal Engine 5 demo we saw the other day. Thought I'd get kicked off by seeing what games we've been playing, boys. And I know, Dylan, you've got some exciting things to talk about in the way of a little thing called VR. Kick us off.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been deep diving. I've been checking out some virtual reality games. It was something that I didn't think I was going to be doing anytime soon. I think, Elliot, I told you months and months ago, the plan was wait for the next generation of VR headsets, get the new like generation graphics card, and then just like enjoy it when it's like really, really good. And like little did I know, like fucking silly me, like it's already really, really good. Like it's already really, 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 really good.
Sick.
So basically, recently moved to a new city. So and then COVID stuff happened, so I didn't really have much to do in terms of like going
Shocking
out.
timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh well, like it's all good, but still, I was like, got to the point where it's like, oh, what am I doing? You know, when the days meld together. So it's like, I really want to find something really, really fun to play. Ended up getting myself an Oculus Quest, and
Nice.
everyone was like, they're totally out of stock everywhere. Like they're completely out of stock, and they weren't. Like, you know, everyone was saying there was shortages and stuff. I just clicked like order, and it said it would like arrive in like 2 weeks, and I was like, cool. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna join the VR revolution. Yeah. It arrived like fucking 3 days later.
Sick.
Like and I was like, what? Like it shortage my ass, man. I was stoked. Fucking ripped that bad boy open, plugged it all in, got it going. And I was really apprehensive about getting the Quest because I obviously wanted to get like the Rift. But yeah, I looked into it and it turns out Oculus Link is done, like, or it's still in beta, but it's like it works. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I was kind of apprehensive about the whole thing. It's like this thing isn't designed to be like connected to the PC. Yeah, whatever. You just plug it in with a USB-C connection. If it's perfect, like it's absolutely
Yeah.
perfect.
How does
Super
that
slight delay. Yeah.
How does that work? Like that must be a lot of information going through USB-C to
Yeah.
run something like Alex. I know you've been playing. How exactly, like, how do they manage that?
I guess the difficulty comes in generally with like the Rift. You'd find it would be connected with a USB connection, but it would also be connected with HDMI or DisplayPort, like
Right.
depending on the like the headset that you've got. So it's interesting because you'd have an actual optical or like video connection as well as data through USB. But in this case, it's all through data, and it's not because it's like sending the video through like the data cables. It's because it's creating like a compressed version, like it's doing its resolution at the highest bit rate that it can. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's compressing it as a video signal and sending it through like sending it through the cable anyhow, and like it decodes it on the other end.
Right.
So it's kind of streaming it, if you will, but like it's the same thing. It like, or at least it feels very, very good for a console or for a headset that cost $800 versus like $1,600 or whatever it was, or like $1,200 for whatever the Rift was on Amazon at the time.
Right.
It's ridiculous, the prices, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
anyhow, it just literally connected it. Like I did end up buying like a USB-C PCIe like card for my PC, just so I could have straight USB-C to USB-C.
Yeah.
Because apparently there's a big fucking thing about this, the type of cable that you use to be able to fucking connect the headset to your computer. Apparently, Oculus brought out their own cable. It costs $100 Australian or 120. It's like 5 meters long. and it's optical, like it's fiber optic, to be able to transfer the data that fast. And apparently it has very nominal improvements over a regular USB-C cable. Because bear in mind, like a regular USB-C cable is 12 megabits per second or whatever, like, or 12 gigabits per second. So that's my mistake. So it can move a lot of data. Like, yeah. Anyhow, it works.
Great.
It works
What
really well.
VR headset do you have?
I've had two actually. I've had the PSVR, which was the first one I got. First time I ever sampled VR. Wasn't a huge fan of it to begin with.
Sure,
it had some pretty good like little experiences. They're not really like full-fledged games. They're like experiences and they were cool. But when they started to, really get into trying to make games for these things, they just, I don't know, the PS4 just could not pump out enough power to run this thing the way it should have been run. And I was getting motion sick. I mean, a lot of people were. I was getting motion sickness and whatnot. You get headaches. You could only play for 5-10 minutes, and that was it. You had to put it down. So I ended up trading that back in and getting a Switch. Then
good choice.
Oh, definitely.
Did you at least play Resident Evil 7?
I did. I played that the entire time in VR.
Did you like it? Was it any good?
Yeah, it scared the living shit out of me. I loved it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, boys.
And then I went into the HTC Vive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
PC.
So you brought out the big guns.
The big guns came out. Yeah. So that one is a completely different machine. 100%. I mean, obviously it's very dependent on your PC, what your PC is capable of putting out, but it's just more comfortable, easier to wear, lighter. The hand controls are just they're next level. They're so good. I mean, obviously they've been probably outclassed now by the Rift, but just it was so much more fun to play. Didn't really get into too many more games with it until Half Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Well,
let's talk about that.
That just absolutely, completely blew my mind of what VR can actually do.
Yeah. Dylan, did you finish
100%.
it yet?
No, I didn't get a chance to finish it yet.
No. Tell me.
Have you already beat it, Gray?
Sorry, mate, what was that?
Have you beat it yet?
I have. I've beaten it and reviewed it, and I had an absolute ball with it.
Would you agree that it's apparently like the same length as Half-Life 2?
Yep.
You would? Okay, cool.
Massive,
so I'm
It's
probably
a big
like
game.
65 or 70% through the game then.
Yeah, it does. I think it stretches just a little bit. It just hangs around a little too long. Just it gets to the point where you're like, obviously not going to spoil any of it.
Yeah.
It just gets to the point, and you're finally getting towards the ending, and they shift gears a little bit, and they give you a pretty solid final act to close the game out with some very heavy spoilers, some ties to the originals and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just from the moment you put that headset on and you step into that world, it is just mind blowing.
I did hear the ending was insane, like absolutely.
The ending.
I didn't see it. No spoilers, obviously, but
No, the end. The ending's fantastic. I love what it does. I love what it does. If you're a fan of the series,
absolutely.
Which still
Am I?
very
people
much
should
is.
be, or if you're not, you're probably a bit too young to remember it. It is, fucking cracker of an ending.
Fucking oath, man. I live and breathe Half-Life. Like Half-Life 2 has like very much been number one of my favorite games.
Okay, well, let me pre-warn you
Christmas game.
that you
Yes,
are going
Christmas
to love the ending. Or
Yeah,
you might,
fucking yeah,
or today, or you could hate it. I've seen arguments both sides.
Pretty predisposed. Like I'm pretty ready to love it. Like if you know what I mean. So far, I fucking love the game. Like holy shit, dude. The weapons and the way that you interact with them, that level of control over them. Oh my God. And the upgrades that you get for them. Like, for example, the pistol, right? You get this like real nice 1911 looking, beautiful looking handgun. And like, what is it? 7 rounds it starts off with, or 13 or whatever it might be. And then like, as you upgrade it, like it doesn't just give you like a longer clip in your gun. It adds this ridiculous auto loader thing to the side of the gun.
Yeah, bulks it right out.
it's fucking insane. It looks so cool. So when you put in like one clip, it loads like all the bullets from the clip into the fucking autoloader, and then you can drop the clip, and then you have to put in another one to fill it up all the way. Like, if you know what I mean. Like, it's so cool how ghetto it is. It has that very cyberpunk, futuristic, fucking fighting against bigger odds kind of feel to it, all the way down to the design language of the guns. If you know what I mean. I'm like, that's an achievement. It's fucking cool because again, like you're immersed in this world, and it all adds up to just create this incredible atmosphere. Like, it's very impressive.
It's very Valve. It has been touched by Valve. Like Valve have not stepped back into the development shoes for a very long time. And yet it's hard to understand why they haven't when they're still so good at what they do. Like, they have not even rusted at all. They are still on point. Like the whole game has the Valve feel to it. It feels like Half-Life, and it just feels different. Like it just looking and being in there just feels a bit different to other games. And the level of detail in everything that you can do within it is just, it's really hard to talk about and explain and articulate how fucking real it feels to be in there.
100%.
You can't look at a video on your phone about it. There's nothing you can do other than getting a headset yourself and strapping it on, and in you go. I guarantee you, every person I showed, friends and that, who came over, and I was like, you got to try this. From people who've never gamed before, people that have put it on and were really taken back, like took it off, and they're like, is this where gaming, like, is this where we can go? Like, is this what we're doing now? It's like,
that's awesome.
And you're only standing in the first section. Like,
that's
you see the set pieces and the horror to it. I think there's a big horror vibe towards the game as well, which I found really cool. It's not like jump scare horror. But
it's tense. It's like
it's very tense.
Thrill ride where like this roller coaster of like, have you got enough ammo? Are you reloading? Are you moving around enough? Like what's your strategy for taking on like this group of combined enemies? Like, how are you going to handle the big boys and all that sort of stuff? Like, fuck, it's so cool in VR. It's a different experience because like when you see someone who's relatively larger than you are through your own eyes, and you're like, they're coming towards you and they're trying to kill me. It's like, and I've got to try and kill them with my gun, and I can't fucking reload. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got to deal with all the stress of doing it. And I just feel like there's that added layer of tension that comes with that VR. Yeah, that's probably
definitely
been described many, many times before, but like, it's just the beauty of it, the way that it's been utilized by Valve.
It's a Valve thing. It's what Valve have been able to do. I love that they focused exclusively on this tech. On the PC, just let's go. Let's show people what we can do.
It's very Valve, having not being really into the series, but even knowing that Half-Life 2 pioneered so many things about physics, and like their source engine just is still used to this day for physics-based stuff. It's no surprise really that they went all the way to just a VR experience, like kind of one of the first AAA VR, single player games, right? Like,
I would say that it is
very, very Valve.
Like all the big games of VR, and people would say things like Boneworks, and like Boneworks is not a AAA game at all. Like it might have had support from some other game devs and stuff like that, and like Valve might have like helped them in the slightest kind of way, but like they are an indie studio through and through.
Yeah.
So like, I think you're right when you say that like, I don't know, having like it is the first like AAA game.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the first time anyone's ever shown off what VR can actually really, really do outside of, it's not a technical demo. This is a game. It's a fully functional game. It's got a story, it's got music, it's got action, it's got everything. It's got the lows and the highs. Everything is tied into it, and it is all stitched together so fucking well.
100%.
But it's also from playing other VR games, like the difference between Valve and what they've done here is simple things like making the gameplay, I don't know, just like really tie in to VR, So solving issues like giving you gravity gloves, they've tied that part of the lore from, having the gravity gun, which is obviously not invented yet because it's a prequel to 2.
Yeah.
So they've got, the gravity gloves. And what that does is not only is it a cool piece of lore, but it solves an issue with VR. And that is constantly having to move around and bend down and pick up objects. And especially for a game where resource management is a kind of a key thing you've got to watch, breaking boxes apart and ammo, you don't have to go literally chasing it. You can stand in the corner of the room and just yeet it to you.
Yeah.
And it glues and sticks to your hand, and you put it in your backpack.
Yeah.
And it's
my favorite way to put that is that like VR is meant to be better than real life, and real life sucks. So why should you have to bend down and pick up that fucking box?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
and to be honest with you, gravity gloves, in my opinion, my humble opinion, better than the gravity gun. Are you kidding me? You can fucking like yeet two different things at once, and you could grab them and look fucking heaps cool and shit. You can like grab stuff from behind you and walk around. Oh, fuck, it's so cool. Anyhow, great mechanism, and I couldn't agree more. Great, like it solves an issue with the VR realm, but it also like ties in with both the lore and the mechanics of the Half-Life universe. So
yeah, it's really thought out. It's like someone has sat there and put in a lot of time and thought into this and gone, you know what, I can tie these things together. I can fix this with a really unique, cool way of doing it. And that's what they've done. And there's plenty of those sort of examples throughout the game that you come into, simple things like reloading your weapon. It's really cool to do in VR. The shotgun, you've got to cock it down, grab your ammo out, load up your ammo, close it, and then cock the gun again, and then you're good to shoot. Okay, so that's a gameplay loop that you have to do. You do it heaps in the game. Normally, reloading in any other game is a button press, and you don't care about it. It's a muscle memory. In here, you've got to reprogram your brain to make that work, and Valve tie that in, so they make pieces of the game, set pieces of the game, where you'll be facing against, a combine coming towards you, very close, and you've got to reload, and like it's shuffling towards you, and you're fumbling around. You're like scared, like 'cause when you're in there, it looks so legit.
Yeah, or a fucking head crab that's
the
like
head crabs chase
like
after
jumping at you, like
yeah. But it's like they take it even a bit further. If you want to, you can flick your wrist, and the shotgun will flop down and eject the case, and then you can load more in. So
I love that.
It's just you get some really
you have to do that,
make it quicker. It's just
you have to do that.
It's so good. Have you come up to Jeff yet?
Yeah, I've like just got up to that bit, just a little bit beyond.
How good is Jeff? I love that section.
He's cool. He's cool. I just hope that the thing doesn't get him. He seems pretty like well aware of what he's doing though. I'll have to find out. How far through the game is that? Like stuff if I'm around there.
Okay, if you're around Jeff, you still got a third of the game to go.
Yeah.
Sick. Very cool. Oh. My Discord just froze. Hello.
Champion.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're right, Cobber.
Yeah, there we go. I've got you back now. I don't know what the hell happened there. Well, onto something a little less immersive, but also very good. Dylan, I know you've been suggesting this game to me for a long time. I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. And man, it's awesome. I am absolutely loving it.
It's the first time you're playing it.
It is, yeah. I know,
right.
Crazy. We've had it for ages, and I just finished The Witcher 2 the other day. I was like, I really should start something new. Well, it's not a new game, but I was like, I should really start something. And so, yeah, kicked it off, and I think I'm about, 18 hours in now. And damn, it's fucking awesome. I haven't played a open world game, I think maybe even since Red Dead. Probably since Red Dead. And dude, it's so good. Gray, I'm guessing you've played it.
Oh yeah, I played it at release. Yeah, I loved it.
It's really
great
good.
game. It's been a very long time though since I only played it then, and I didn't do the DLC.
Yeah,
so it's been a very long time since I played it. The main thing that stuck out to me, obviously, other than how good it looks and plays, and the combat's really, really good, was just the world lore finding out what happened in that place and exploring the old city sections, and that was just
it's amazing.
I love that part, and like getting the collectible and hearing it play back like what actually happened, and slowly piecing it all together.
Man,
was freaking sick. That was my favorite part of it, outside of combat and all the rest. But yeah, what a game.
I just did a lot of that today. Like I found it's like one of the major plot points, and I went through.
We can spoil this game because it's been out for a very long time.
Yeah, well, I'm up to pretty much finding out.
Yeah, up to where you are up to. I mean,
yeah. Yes, I'm up to pretty much just climbed like a massive skyscraper and started to find out what's going on with what happened. It's like 1,000 years ago, which is just mental. Which I know exactly where you're up to. Yeah. Sorry, my cameras are just.
Have you got to the top yet?
The top of
that building?
Yes, I just did.
You did? Have you gotten down yet?
Yeah, I just got down. Literally the last thing I did.
Oh, no.
There's something you got to get up there, isn't there?
Yeah, at the very, 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 very top. You got to climb up.
You got to climb up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're going to want to get that because you're going to have to go back. Like, if you finish the game to the point where, like, it's done, like, you're going to have to go back.
Oh, well, that's devastating.
And I'm not talking about completionist stuff. It's just that particular thing unlocks a particular thing that changes the game for the end game, if you know what I mean.
Really?
And it's fucking rad. It's awesome.
Okay.
It's like excellent. Ray, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, because I was playing it at release, so there's no guides, there's no nothing. And I went up there. I was like, because when you get to that top platform, that skyscraper, like, I don't know, it's the hollow image or something. You have a conversation with someone up there.
Yeah, you have a conversation with.
And then you can turn around.
Silence, like, or whatever his name is.
What is up there? I wonder if I can get even higher up this thing, because I think I wanted to jump off it.
Why the fuck didn't I do
naturally?
That? There we go.
Yeah, naturally. So
as you do in the game.
Went up there and there was the thing.
The thing. All right. Well, bloody hell! I'm gonna have to climb that fucking thing again.
It's a collectible, and when you get all the collectible, it unlocks a thing, and the thing is something that aids you in combat. That's all you're gonna get.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the hot tip. I'm gonna have to go for a bit of a stroll up the mountain. I do apologize to anyone watching this. I was just having some huge camera issues. I think my fake battery is having a spaz out, but we're all good now. So, what I really, really love about Horizon is just like the sound design mainly is incredible. Like the sound of the weapons and the sound of the creatures, and just like every little thing you do has a sound, even to the point of when you pick up a green item, it makes a noise. When you pick up a blue item, it makes a different noise. And it's just, everything sounds so great. The voice acting's awesome. The music is just so fitting for the the feel of the game, and I love it. I love it so much. There are a lot of like open world tropes, like bandit camps and watchtowers, which are cool because you're climbing a giant.
I think the watchtowers though is a different take on that trope. I think they nailed it 100%.
Yeah,
they did a wicked job having that
giant
dinosaurs
gimmick
in the game.
Yeah,
Totally. The giant dinosaur is awesome.
It can't be mad.
The sound they make when you set them off.
It's so good.
Yeah,
the sounds of the machines in general is like, holy crap! It's so well designed.
It's so hard not to talk about a fucking ending.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting there.
Yeah,
Trust
totally.
me, I'm getting there. If only
it's like, what else is there to talk about?
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to tiptoe around. It's like
all I remember, because I played it so many years ago, and like the thing that I always bring up to people is how freaking good the ending is. Like, Elliot, hurry up! Jeez,
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You will like the ending. I'm pretty keen to go back through the game on PC.
True.
Because playing that game in 60 frames would just be so much better. It's so worth it. Not that the game runs perfectly, from what I remember.
It does, yeah.
It looks really incredible.
But everything can always look better. So I feel you.
it's funny playing it now that I've played Death Stranding and seeing the similarities in not the gameplay, but like some of the features of the engine. Even like some of the yeah, oh man, it's beautiful. But even like how some of the enemies scan you in Horizon Zero Dawn, like they'll send like a pulse out, and it's very much like when the you know, the bad guys, I can't remember what they're called in Death Stranding, like send that pulse out. Very similar there, and like the way mountains are kind of like, you know, traversable and stuff as well. It's not quite to the point of Death Stranding where everything can be walked up or climbed up. But yeah, you can see why Kojima like wanted that engine, because it like there are quite a lot of similarities in that open world design. And man, it is gorgeous, and the photo mode's great, and there's so many you know, you can do so much with the photo mode, even down to her like facial expressions and her poses, and some of the shots I've got, just like they look so sick. So yes,
that was added well after launch, I think, because I don't remember.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's very you know, very customizable what you can do. Not as much.
Was the Decimate engine like brought about with that one, or is it Killzone that brought the Decimate engine?
No, so they Guerrilla redeveloped their new engine, which is the Decimate engine for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right,
but they wanted an engine that was clearly very scalable. From what I've read and heard, that engine is fantastic. Like,
but like, did that first debut with Horizon?
I think it did. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And then Sony like licensed that to Kojima Productions as well. And they're bound to be working on the sequel too, as there have been little leaks that have been sprinkling about for like Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If they come out, if Sony is somehow able to come out and go, here's the launch lineup for the PlayStation 5, and it's an Horizon Zero Dawn 2 exclusive on PlayStation 5, and that is going to be fucking hard to top.
Console mover
is just going to be a huge game, and especially if they can get Horizon Zero Dawn on PC a few months beforehand to get everyone talking about it, to get people enjoying it and liking it and go, wow, this is really cool, let's talk about this, and then go, right, you want the sequel? This shit's locked to PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
come play. Sure. Like, this is where it's going to be.
It's smart.
I can't wait to
because
see
I mean, it's a good way to go after people too, because I mean, if you're going after the PC market, they already have a PC. Therefore, any Microsoft exclusive is completely like null and void because they've already got access. So like, it's almost as if Microsoft's like, we understand that PlayStation's like such a titan. It's like, we're not trying to necessarily beat them. We're trying to coexist and still do extremely well, because there is like room for both. There's always going to be room for both. But then again, like if I have a PC, I don't see necessarily the need to go out and buy an Xbox fucking Series X, if you know what I mean, too. So
yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, you don't need to, like, and I think they're very much aware of that at Microsoft, and like probably won't sell anywhere near how many PlayStation 5s will sell, especially if they do have a good lineup. But they have that market on PC as well, so you know, there's wins for both. But I think, I don't see PlayStation, like, you know, they're bringing out Horizon Zero Dawn on PC now, but definitely they won't be bringing out that, like, a sequel on PC at launch. No way. They wouldn't.
No way.
I don't think. You know,
it doesn't make sense for them to do that.
No, I mean, they don't need to.
It doesn't even bode well for, like, it's not even a huge win for Microsoft when they do it either. It's not, because their big exclusives sell best on the console. Like Gears 5 sold way better on console.
Yeah.
Than it will ever on PC, because console market outdoes PC market. You know, whatever the ratio is, it'd be ridiculous. You know, PC market is fucking tiny little speck when you compare it to console and mobile market and shit like that.
Oh, so, yeah. Is it really?
Yeah. PC market, it's tiny, mate, compared to console market.
All the Steam and all that as well. Interesting comparison to just Xbox and as in digital sales and retail sales, or just retail? Like,
Well, both. I don't even know how. I don't know anyone who builds a PC these days that even has an optical drive in them.
No.
Yeah, I mean, no,
I can't even play. I can't even play a physical.
No, I mean, not necessarily. I'm not talking about PC. I'm talking about like the consoles, digital or like retail.
Oh, okay. No, well, those two would be combined. Like whatever it sells to the console.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you don't buy disc fucking PC these days. Not a chance.
No chance at all. But it's hard to speculate about the sequel as well without giving away said story to you yet.
Sure, please don't.
We'll put that on hold. We'll put a pin in it.
What would happen to Aloy after that ending?
Well,
I forgot that was her name, Aloy.
Thank you.
The one thing that shits me about that game is like the bit where she's a kid, like the start of the game.
Don't like it?
Her, the model of the kid. She looks like this strange little gremlin, this like ridiculous little child monster. Like I don't know what it is, but when I saw the fucking character model, I was just like, what is going on? And then it only gets normal like when she grows up. Like once you get out of the tutorial level, she grows up and she looks like a normal person again, as opposed to this redheaded little demon monster.
Also, got to remember that that game was the first time Guerrilla had done anything like that.
Yeah,
third person.
But it was always, first person as Killzone.
It doesn't mean that you can't like character model a child that doesn't look like a fucking gremlin.
I don't know. Children always look weird in video games, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Fair. Yeah,
I'm just being nitpicky. How the improvements, the lessons they would have learned from developing this one the first time around, going into the second one, obviously. I mean, you look at the difference between Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2. They are just such leagues apart in differences in like from what Naughty Dog learned on how to do a game like that. Guerrilla have that skill, and we haven't seen what they can do doing a sequel like this. I reckon if they're doing it and it comes out, it's going to be a fucking big ass blockbuster for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Well, continuing on with our talk about amazing Sony games, let's talk about a game with an even more impressive photo mode than Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima. We saw a pretty cool 18-minute gameplay demo this week. It was fucking impressive. Dylan, did you watch that one? Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You messaged me about it. Yes.
Holy shit, dude. That was ridiculous.
Insane.
I couldn't contain it. I had to message it.
Amazing. Gray, your thoughts?
I really, really enjoyed it. As a fan of open world games, also of the setting, feudal Japan.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And Sekiro being one of my favorite games.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Those games are like intrinsically
in for it.
They got,
and it's also it's Sucker Punch, man. I love Infamous. I love the whole Infamous series.
Yeah.
Did you like Second Son? I take it.
I did enjoy Second Son.
I thought
not as good as the other ones. I thought the other ones were better. Infamous 1 and 2 it peaked with 2 for me.
I don't know. I happen to think Second Son was better than Infamous 1, but
anyway. I'm talking more story wise and stuff like that. I just enjoyed the story of Cole and the whole the evil, the good and bad karma system.
It's interesting because like they were like Sucker Punch was like perfecting or like getting the next gen version of open world like right at the beginning of the PS4 like generation. Yeah. But then now Sucker Punch at the very, very end of the PS4 generation, and most likely what's going to be the beginning of the PS5 generation is going to have like their expertly crafted take on the open world. Like
it's and that's that's by design. Like that's what Sony have wanted. Like that is not a fluke. I mean, obviously, I think the timing, they probably wanted it out a little bit earlier than going so close to fucking Last of Us. But they definitely wanted, Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog to send the console out. And Ghost of Tsushima is just looking for a brand new IP this late in the gen, and a triple A rated IP. This is going to be huge, and it looks so good. I love the cues that they're taking, the innovation in waypoints in the map. Like as someone who's just now going through Odyssey for the first time, I can't stand that HUD. I look at that map and I just like shake. It's like that is just fucking disgusting how much is on you, how much there is to do, and it's just constantly in your face reminding you that you're playing a video game.
I found that, like, as much as I'm enjoying Horizon, I find that is one of the tropes that it suffers from, is like there is so much HUD and there is so much like on the map, and I know you can go in and turn it, a lot of it off, and I'm pretty sure in Assassin's Creed you can play it like without markers and all that kind of stuff, but it is something that open world games really suffer from. Even The Witcher 3 like had that, like if you zoom out and there's just question marks everywhere, and it still suffered from things like bandit camps and stuff. But I really like how, I guess, like the bird that like is flying alongside Jin in Ghost of Tsushima. You know, it'll lead you somewhere, or the fox will lead you to a shrine, or even like obviously the wind is the main one, which I think is very similar to other games in a lot of ways, but it's so much more like naturally like part of the world, because it's, you know, it's not a futuristic game, so having a HUD doesn't really make sense in the way of like a marker that you can see. So having the wind blow that way is a really smart choice, even though it's been done similarly in other games, but not quite so, I guess, like,
yeah, it's the whole,
natively.
like what kind of spoke about with Half Life and Valve. You know, tying the gravity gun and the lore to it. Someone has sat there at Sucker Punch and gone, you know what? There's no tech back then. It's, well, what can we do to immerse the player into the world, yet still provide them feedback, so they know which way to fucking look on their analog sticks.
Yeah.
And this is what they've come up with, and I reckon that's the type of stuff that is, it's really awesome to see. It's good to see, you know, now into this time of the gen, because it's going to hopefully go forward into other games.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, it's something interesting to look forward to. And as someone who plays like any of those games, like Sekiro, you don't play with the English. You play full Japanese, proper voiceover with the subtitles. I can't wait to just fully immerse myself in that world.
You're going to play in Samurai Cinema mode?
I definitely will be doing a few of those, for sure. As someone who I love challenges, like doing stupid challenges in games.
I've noticed.
Even more ridiculously harder than what I should do. So yeah, I'm fucking hell looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I hope the combat is difficult. I hope there's some depth there. It does look like there is.
Yeah. If someone was to say it was Souls-ish, I wouldn't be mad, you know.
I don't think it will be.
I mean, like, not as brutal,
have...
obviously, considering the open world aspects of it. It's going to be, I imagine, more toned down. But I think you understand what I mean. Like the strategy for the combat.
I think they're going to more Neo, if you had to tie it to another game, especially with the stance system. The stance system in Neo is it's key to the gameplay and how you fight. This one is looking very much the same. I think you've got 4 different stances, you know, and that'll depend on what your enemy you're fighting, where you'll hit them, and the damage you'll do, and how you can counter them and stuff like that. But as we said on podcast yesterday, I think everything we've just seen, like that whole 18 minutes, was very obviously, it was very cut for what we wanted to see. But I also think it had a theme through it, and that was a very cinematic theme.
Yes,
they didn't show much gameplay wise of hack and slash, which we know is going to be in there. They didn't show Jin jumping around and flipping about, and, you know, the traversal and the parkour and the stuff that we know is also going to be in there. It was very much leaning towards, you know, showing off a cinematic kind of movie and the story and stuff like that, especially focusing on like the black and white mode and the, you know, stuff like that. So I think maybe we're going to see, leading up, we'll see some cool gameplay. You know, what is actually involved in the combat.
And I think going back to their first like reveal trailer, 2 years ago now, E3, even that like duel that he had with that other samurai was super cinematic, the way the camera kind of panned to the side, and there was with the leaves and everything, and it was like they're really going for that in all their trailers. Obviously, when gamers get their hands on it, that it won't be as pretty all the time, but I think
it won't be that well put together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think even just having like the two sides of it, like going samurai or going ghost, is very exciting. I know we were talking about this on Twitter the other day, Gray. You know, what that might actually mean for the story, which we don't know, but being that Infamous was so entrenched in like having the good and evil side, maybe that will be kind of implemented in this game as well.
Read something yesterday that said they're not doing the karma system.
Okay, there we go. Well,
it is. I don't know if it's like 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty sure I read an article yesterday that they've said we're not doing the full karma system.
Okay, sure.
In regards to Infamous, doesn't mean they're not going to have like a a morality kind of thing going on.
Yeah,
but with Infamous, it was very obvious.
Have they said
red or blue? Like it was very
yeah.
This one they might really blur it.
Have they said anything about like if you can, just depending on like what armor you wear, you may choose to go samurai for a while, and then if you want to go stealthy, you can go ghost, or is it kind of you're locking yourself into one playstyle?
It's 2020, man. I don't think will do an open world game and lock you into a playstyle.
I agree. Yeah.
As much as I would like that, because it adds a lot of weight to your decision. But that also does, you can piss people off when they get halfway through it and they go, okay, I don't want to be Ghost Jin anymore.
Yeah.
I want to go full assault mode. And the only option is restarting, I guess. So I think you'll definitely be able to go down both lines, whatever you want to do. But obviously maybe with your skill points and your armor and what you choose, because the armor does have perks attached to it and stuff like that.
Which I think that looks so good.
Yeah, so some are obviously going to be good for stealth, some's going to be good for open combat.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they allow us to do both. But if you want the best out of each tree, you've really got to laser focus in on that, get the gear for that side, and really nail that gameplay for that. I reckon that'd be pretty cool.
Hell yeah. I'm very, very interested to see how it goes. I'm really excited to see what the story's like, because from what I've read, like the attack on Tsushima was not good for the Japanese. They did not win. So it'd be interesting to see like how they tackle that from Jin's perspective, so very, very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the whole, the samurai code and everything that they've got to follow. I would like to think the story will play off that. Because I think we've seen it in the trailer. Jin's father, obviously, when he's getting brought up, getting trained as a samurai, talking about facing them and you greet death and all the stuff that goes with it. Maybe it's going to really expand or focus in on that when you choose to go ghost and guerrilla tactics and stuff like that, and not honor your heritage, I guess.
Yeah, your code.
Will that have a negative impact across the game? Like, will people react to you differently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it like a community perception of your character and all that sort of stuff?
Or will they go as far as to maybe it'll change the gameplay up a little bit? Like, if that's the path that you are starting to take, they start doing ambush attacks on you or force you out. I don't know. There's a couple of different ways they could go.
Yeah, and like it's interesting because this is like, while it is, I guess, the outgoing of one generation, it's kind of like the beginning of another one. So what sort of like next generation game mechanics are we going to see? And I think that's a huge one. It's like your actions having an impact of the way that characters react to you. Like I think taking that to the next level is something that seems as if it is, the next generation of gaming, if you catch my drift.
Yeah,
definitely. I can't wait to see what they can do with it.
Agency. Yeah, exactly. If they can have that impact, if they can make you feel more like you're at the center of that universe, or at least you've got some sort of sway over what's going on, I think that'd be pretty rad.
Hell yeah. That's what, and going back to Horizon Zero Dawn, I was actually surprised that like there are decisions to be made. It's only minor in comparison to like a full RPG or something, but like the way you can respond to people and stuff. So I wonder, you know, if it will be fully cinematic in the way of just like, you know, something like The Last of Us or something like God of War, or if it will be, you know, some form of decision making, even if it's minor.
Do you think they're gonna try and stick this game firmly grounded into reality, or do you think they might branch out a little bit?
I think reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just had such a specific setting, such a specific like time, fucking, you know, like the exact year that they said it, as well as like that particular Mongol conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
too
no,
specific.
I don't think they'll go anywhere near fantasy whatsoever. I think they're going to be fully in. That's because everything we've seen from it appears to be a very serious game. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, the more fantasy they go, the more Neo they go, and like
yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't feel
And
at all like Neo.
also more Assassin's Creed as well, especially like the recent ones.
Yeah, because Assassin's Creed is kind of taking it to the next level with the fantasy stuff and the gods and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and it's also taking it to way more RPG levels, which I think it's a smart play by Sucker Punch to do this. Not that I'm saying that they had some fucking clairvoyant ball to look into the future and see what Ubisoft were going to do with their own series, but Ubisoft stepping away now from the formula of Assassin's Creed, you know, from what the games used to be, compared to what they are now. The previous two entries are, you know, they're so far away from what the old series used to be. This game really feels like it could step in and fill that spot.
absolutely, especially because
Everyone was screaming for Ubisoft to go to Japan. Take us to
that's what I was
Japan.
about to say.
Take the game to there, just take us there. And here comes Sucker Punch with this new IP that it's taking us right there. It's going to be.
They're even screaming at Ubisoft with Far Cry to go to Japan. Like it seems like a huge fascination. Like
it's not a very explored setting. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know if you've played Red Steel on the Wii. But like,
no one wants.
I'm talking
that was a total
big
that
triple A's. It's
yeah, totally trash.
same as the Viking era. What they're going to be exploring this year, I think, is another great, fantastic setting that.
True.
It's got so many environmental stories to tell, both those settings, that it's odd that no one's done it in such a long time. Just fucking dinosaurs. Can I just get a good dinosaur game again?
You say no one's done it. Fair enough. Turok forever. But back to what you were saying before. Like, wait. You know what? Never mind. I don't want to start no fucking controversy. It's not worth it.
I know, man. I kind of want to hear it now.
No, I just forgot what we were talking about. I'm just trying to cover it up.
Cool. Yeah. Backpedaling.
But like, yeah, I think it shares a lot with old Assassin's Creed and I guess the fact that it is an open world cinematic game, but it looks like it has so much, you know, so much uniqueness to it and style, and just it looks like it's going to be super impressive. What do you know what engine is running on?
It would be whatever the Sucker Punch one is.
Yeah,
the name of their engine. It's been so long
is
since
it their
I've played
own?
Second Son.
Yeah.
Is it one of those ones that's like publicly like out there? Like, you know how people are aware of certain engines, Unreal Engine, Resident Evil Engine, like fucking.
No, I don't think it's a UE engine or Creation Engine. It's I'm sure it's a proprietary stuff, because most of the Sony first party guys have their own engines.
Yeah,
that's why their games kind of look a little different.
Yeah.
And again, why you can see the similarities between Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't want all your first parties sharing that similar trait, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, how good does this game look? It's on fucking PlayStation 4.
The way the wind works, and like the bamboo forests, and
it's going to be the Cherry Blossom Simulator.
3000.
Yes,
absolutely.
it's going to be. I'm just going to be in there photo mode with the cherry blossoms falling through past my sword.
And like you can
So
change the friggin'
just
wind
real quick,
direction and
like,
shit.
full Ghost of Tsushima like engine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what is it?
It pulled up Unreal Engine 5.
Oh, is it?
Definitely not.
That's the first thing that pulled up. And remember the video that just dropped?
Oh, it's definitely going to be Unreal Engine.
Well, it won't be
5.
5 because that's not even out until
Could be
next
4.
year. Could be UE4.
It's like the first thing that popped up, like in big text. You know how like Google answers questions?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5 doesn't release until next year. If anything, like it may be UE4. It's pretty bloody impressive.
It doesn't look like
whatever
it
is. It doesn't. No,
like you can,
especially with the weather simulation.
Either way, it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
Not long to go either before we actually get to play it.
What's the date? It's the 20th. It's like 2 months, less than 2 months, and we've got Last of Us 2 in between. So,
well, since having that spoiled for me, I'm more excited for Ghost of Tsushima.
Spoiled
now.
Yeah, that sucks.
What?
Man.
Yeah, Dylan, you're never on Twitter
I'm
anymore, so
well, I guess I've set myself for fucking spoiling.
Yeah, people were just going around and posting it like Gray, like he just had someone post it in a comment about a completely different game. That was fucking
some random
bullshit.
person just like pop straight in. Here you go, bam.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. Everyone's like
fucking
bitching about like have liberal people ruin the game or some shit like that. I'm like, I'm not looking into any of that.
No,
just gonna play it.
Don't even look in the comment sections of YouTube videos at the moment. It's dangerous.
I'm not even watching YouTube videos about it. Like I'm just like,
so I'm not disappointed in what I read. I'm just disappointed because I've had it spoiled. Like, I know what it is.
Oh, it's such bullshit.
Just such a pain in the ass. But I don't know what Ghost of Tsushima is. So I'm fucking keen for that.
And yeah, they haven't really said anything about the story, which is great. I think, like, you know, we've seen a little bit of story trailers, but no one really knows what the actual main quest is going to cover. I'm very, very excited. That's another reason why I played Horizon Zero Dawn now, because I'm like, if this comes out and it's like the new standard, it's going to be hard to go back to an older game. Although Horizon is really, really good. Say again?
Yeah.
I said get in while the going is good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of amazing open world games, The Witcher 3 just turned 5 years old a couple of days ago.
Oh.
That is...
Little bite.
That game is still phenomenal.
I still haven't finished it.
You need to finish that game.
Some say you never do.
Yeah, I mean,
What could it be?
That's very true. I just thought I'd bring up, there's a couple of specials on at the moment. If you haven't played The Witcher 3, I know you probably own it anyway, Dylan, but Witcher 3 Game of the Year edition, or whatever it's called, is 70% off on everything at the moment, which is awesome. I just finished playing The Witcher 2 on Xbox, and that is 85% off on Xbox, Steam, and GOG. And I highly recommend it. It is old. It is 8 years old. It's 9 years old on PC. It came out a year later on Xbox. But man, the storytelling is awesome. The fact that there's like chapter 2 in that game kind of splits completely. Like you can choose to go with the elves or you can choose to go with the humans. And chapter 2 is completely different. Like you're not even in the same place. You're not even doing the same story stuff. It's really cool how a game of that age is able to, you know, be so ambitious in the fact that you can go back and play it and experience a whole nother story and find out information in chapter 2 quite early when you go with the elves that you don't find out until literally the end of the game if you play with the humans, which is amazing. So highly recommend. Gray, have you played Witcher 2?
Yeah. When did it release? 9 years ago?
2011, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I played it, so yeah. I can't remember jack shit about it. I remember it was a great game when I played it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I got it
as
when
story beats. I can't remember a great deal about it.
Yeah, I would recommend going back. Like the combat is dated, and it's the map design is terrible, but the story is definitely worth it. I think I got it when it first
CD
came out.
Projekt Red, they're known for this story. The stories they weave in their games are
man,
good. The combat even in Witcher 3 is still kind of pretty clunky and shit.
I liked it. Like
it's not great. Like it's not perfect.
It's
and
not
they
perfect.
patched that. If you played it at release, it was even
It's
worse.
been worked on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's been definitely improved.
But yes, it's their storytelling
To
that
the
really
extent that they have
stands out.
Storytelling was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I think Witcher 3 is in my top 3 games of all time.
Yeah, my second favorite, I think, of all time.
And Cyberpunk is just around the corner. Oh,
I know, so keen. Witcher
that's
1
graphics card upgrade. Ooh.
Witcher 1 that I haven't played and I hear does not hold up well. Is also 85% off on Steam and GOG.
Isn't it like Witcher 1, like you have to click to move? Like you click on the spot and he moves to that spot? Like isn't it like
Maybe?
a completely different control scheme to what you
believe
find
so.
in like Witcher 2 and Witcher 3? That's what I heard, at least.
It's very archaic now.
Yeah, it's
Very, very
it's so
archaic.
old.
You
I don't
wouldn't
even know
you
what
would
year
not
that
go.
came out.
You'd have to be a purist to go back and enjoy it.
You can, like even up-resing it, like it's not gonna satisfy. Like it's just
no.
old school mechanics.
Yeah, you can't upgrade, fucking smart delivery the shit out of that.
You can't fix that with
polish
smart
that
delivery.
too.
not a
And it's
chance.
apparently got a really good story as well, but fuck that. Also, Thronebreaker, Witcher Tales, which is pretty much a Gwent RPG, is 50% off on Xbox, Steam, and GOG, which I bought last night. So I'm going to start playing that after I
Look
don't
at
know,
you.
play
Supporting.
something else.
Gwent's good.
I love
played
Gwent.
the shit out of Gwent.
Me too.
Yeah, did you play the side card game?
I did,
not
yeah.
in the game?
Yeah, it's the only card game I've ever played because I was so addicted to it playing The Witcher 3, and then I finished the game and I was like, well, I'm going to play Gwent now. I played it for a month or two and I was hooked on it, but I haven't gone back since they fully upgraded it.
I was spewing with The Witcher 3 because I went for back then I used to do mad trophy hunting, so I wanted the platinum trophy.
Yeah,
in it on the PS3, and getting all the Gwent cards.
I did that
the last
one.
trophy I needed to get.
I've managed
did it?
that,
Yeah,
but I didn't finish the game on the hardest difficulty. So you got that on me.
Okay, I did it on hard for like straight out of the gate. That's all I wanted to play. But getting I had one card that I didn't get, and then I didn't know where it was. And by the time a couple of weeks later, while playing it, there was a guide for where the cards were, and I was like, "Oh, it's all the way back at the start. Easy. Go back there, and it's not there. It glitched out. Like if you went past a certain point, that was it." And I was like, "Are you telling me I have to play the entire game again just to get these cards to get this trophy?"
No.
But luckily, CD Projekt Red are like, all right, we're gonna fix this because that's not by design. We wouldn't make people do that. So they patched it back in, and the card was there on the body that it was supposed to be on. Bam.
Yeah, because there's a couple, if you don't beat them, like the Bloody Baron, if you don't actually play him, it's on his dead body and stuff like that if he dies. Which thankfully,
so I was like really, really spending some time in working it out, and plus all the choices you've got to make. All the choices you've got to make to get everyone to be at Cameron at the end.
Yes.
Getting Kiraments and all that to stay alive. There was no guide out when I was doing it.
Yeah.
So I was going off my history with the books because I've read the books.
Nice.
And whatnot. I was like, I feel like she would make this decision. Like this needs to be said. And I got the trophy like first go. I was very, very, very lucky and ended up helping a heap of other people through it. Like writing a little mini guide on what I did.
Awesome.
Oh, all right.
That's sick.
That's
Such a phenomenal fucking game.
I
can't wait for some.
And some of the best DLC.
Man.
Oh, dude.
Blood and Wine.
Fucking nerds, man.
That is a whole game on its own, you know.
Yeah, it is. It is gigantic. When I first got that, downloaded that and booted it up, like you go through the countryside and it's all super colorful and everything. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, Tuscany.
Yeah.
And then you open the map and I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
The vampire has done it again.
Yes, the vampire stuff. Like, that was such a captivating story.
Oh, 100%. And like, it's such a threat to Geralt as well. Like,
it's because it's a huge thing in the books, the vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good that they, really touched on it.
What are they called? Like
higher,
the really old ones? Like
higher vampires.
Higher
or the
vampires,
elder.
yeah.
There's like the elder vampire as well. That real fucked up dude. But even then,
that one
like,
that can like...
Yeah, like the story, like the way that story can go just because of small decisions just in Blood and Wine is so cool. Like, when you're in that storybook world, if you like get the ribbon from that one person, that means like that you have to fight the higher vampire at the end, and like just these tiny minor things that fully change the story. And there are ways to finish it without even having to fight him. And that boss fight is just fucking bonkers as well. He transforms about 4 times. That's so good.
It's the best boss fight out of the whole game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, right. Even on DLC.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, better than
Easy.
Yeah, because they perfected it by that stage. I think they knew what they were. They knew what they were doing.
It was peak Witcher at that point.
Peak Witcher.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, man, you got to feel for CD Projekt Red. I mean, they deserve every award and accolade they can get for that game. But
fucking earth.
Could you imagine the pressure on the studio to perform for Cyberpunk? Would just be like, man, imagine being the the project leads and the supervisors and all that, trying to keep your team chilled. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Like, whatever we can do, we're gonna get it right.
Necessary. For like when they announced they were like for when they were pushing it back, when they announced like the delay. Imagine the security necessary on site, mate. Far out to make those developers feel safe from the backlash of the community. Holy shit!
Which
you need like round the clock. You need like 100 security guards all around. You need them forming a fucking perimeter around the outside.
But that's the thing. They're so good at what they do, but they get backlash for almost every single little, not even a mistake. There's just like, they're under such scrutiny, which is bullshit because they've proven themselves in the way that in the games they make. But yeah, I think they cop a lot of flack. But what, to your point, Gray, is like they've set such a precedent, but now they've gone out and they're like creating like not a new IP, but a completely new style of game for them, like a first person, futuristic RPG. It's not anything. It's not like creating Oblivion and then creating Skyrim. It's like, it's a whole different, kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Which I think is bold, and I think it's going to be as good as we hope it to be. Or at least I fucking want it to be. I don't doubt their storytelling, though. That's for sure.
No, I don't doubt their storytelling, but I do doubt their skills in the first-person shooter department because, and I've read a few articles, like everyone was just, spewing about how good this game was when it was shown off behind closed doors, all those years ago. But there were a few also articles that came out, people talking about like IGN, and they're talking about, it looks really good. The systems on top of systems that they have in place, what they're doing with the game looks really good. The choices, and the atmosphere, they're like, the shooting looks shit. It looks very average, and that's going to be a core gameplay loop. Every game needs the core gameplay loop that keeps you engaged, beat to beat. They were very good at third person. And they wanted to go first person to kind of really pull you into the world more.
Yeah, for sure. Totally.
I think they did a fucking amazing job with Geralt anyway, bringing you into that world. I would have preferred Cyberpunk to stay third person.
Yeah, that's fair. Like,
I wonder if like the impact of different customization towards like guns and melee and all that sort of stuff in Cyberpunk is more noticeable being first person than it would be being third person. It's a weird stretch. I know. I'm just trying to think of like, what's the reason? Because
there is a
no,
reason. They have literally cited the reason many times. I'm drawing blanks here. Because they've been asked this question directly. Why did you go first person when you were so good at your third person storytelling from that perspective? And they do give a very solid reason. It's just going to be interesting to see how they pull it off. How do they handle that first person perspective for the entire game, especially when it comes to storytelling, because you've got to tell a different story.
Yeah,
because you are the player. The player is that.
Yeah, especially when they've said now, like, they're not even doing cutscenes or anything, like, cinematically. They're doing it all in first person, which that's the only thing about that game that I'm like, I love cinematic cutscenes and the way they're filmed in. Sorry?
Half-Life in general. That's like...
Yeah.
That's hard.
But yeah, that's the one thing I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that until I play it, right? Until I like see what it's actually like, being in that world and experiencing it all in first person. But it's bold, like, you know, it's a bold fucking move.
I've got no doubt that it's going to be, it's going to be a stellar game. But I also don't think it's going to live up to the expectation that everyone's setting. I think everyone is setting a pretty ridiculously high mark for this game to achieve. Just building it up in their own head. I've seen, Twitter threads and Reddit posts and stuff like that of just these super convoluted and complex systems people think they're going to be doing. Not saying that you can't do it in the game, but it's like, man, if you are trying to build this game up that you have not played yet or really have that much information on yet, this is the level you're setting already. Like, man, how do they win? Because that's fair, such a fucking high mark to set. Like,
it's a reverse Peter Molyneux situation where it's the fans like fitting it out to be like some ridiculous thing.
Yeah. Exactly. I remember I think it was like Colin Moriarty, I think did a big interview on Naughty Dog back on the PS3 days, just before they did Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 and did The Last of Us. They just got The Last of Us out, I think, and he did a big 10 years at Naughty Dog thing. It's an amazing article.
Yeah.
And I remember them talking about a similar thing, what's going on with CD Projekt Red now. Coming off the success of The Witcher, moving into Cyberpunk. It was the same for Naughty Dog, coming off the huge success that was Uncharted into The Last of Us, and talking about that expectation for players. Like, they've got this fucking huge pedigree to live up to, this massive marker that everyone expects perfect 10s and 100% all the time, and they want us to innovate and do new things, and they said it was like fucking ridiculously hard to manage. They executed, they nailed it, and The Last of Us is arguably one of the best games ever done. It's so CD Projekt Red can do it. It's gonna be fucking hard. It's gonna be hard. I'm definitely really excited for the game. I'm
absolutely
playing it day one.
Oh fuck,
day one.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh well, I think at this point, speculation does us no much. Like, it doesn't get us any further. We just have to get the game in our hands.
I know. And
I'll be very interested on what their PR, what their marketing is going to be moving forward, because they've got a marketing deal with Microsoft.
Yeah,
that's where the game's getting promoted, like along with Assassin's Creed as well. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when they start that and what that looks like. Is it more gameplay? Is it going to show the systems, the choices, or
because
how are they going to tackle it? How would you sell
the marketing? Like, I've had videos pop up of like Cyberpunk 2077 like months and months ago. Not so much now, but I remember a while ago, like when they were just trying to get it out after that first huge gameplay reveal was out there. Like, it was popping up on YouTube ads.
Yeah,
it's interesting. They've started the marketing, and like I've seen it around, but I get what you mean. Like, how's it going to change? Like, what are they going to show off specifically to sell the finished product?
The big push always comes a month or so before release. That's when you see
no doubt.
The shit everywhere it is. Like, it blows up. So,
I think they've said they are going to do something in this Summer Game Fest thing. I don't know if they said June or July or whatever, but I think CD Projekt Red are going to do something. But you're right, like that final month of actual advertising, what, like, you know, is it going to be about, story? Like, really, I know we haven't seen anything for a while, but we've seen almost 2 hours of gameplay, plus a couple of, you know, cinematic CG trailers. That's quite a lot, really, if you think of something like Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like there's been 2 short gameplay demos and then a couple of trailers in the same amount of time. You know, there's been quite a lot of content that's come out, but it hasn't really focused on the main story. It hasn't really said a huge amount about like what the story contains, except for like you're searching for immortality, essentially. So yeah, I'm very excited to see how they push that narrative. You know, I can't remember what they were saying about The Witcher when it came out, but
Well, The Witcher was different. It was marketed different because it's the climactic ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everyone knew Geralt, knew the characters, knew everything, knew the story going forward.
Yeah.
So they had to do that. This one, like you said, they got to do it differently because no one knows what the game is. No one, and Cyberpunk, the aesthetic of that is also pretty foreign to a lot of people. Like there's not that many Cyberpunk games, especially of recent memory. That have come out. So it's like they've also got to, I think you've got to balance that as well, not go too far into it, because I think that might push some people away. You want to kind of give a little bit and show a bit of the realer side of things as well. Don't go all the crazy futuristic. I don't think they're going to go down that path. In the marketing.
Sure. In the actual game it will. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but marketing wise, I think they're going to want to appeal to, you know, the Call of Duty guys who just love shooting, but not the futuristic side of it. You know,
they'll probably do what they do for most action games: show a lot of character moments, show a lot of action, and then just the basic themes, and most likely some fucking vaporwave music, and then boom.
So, definitely. Synthwave all day, every day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Like that first trailer. That first trailer was very much that, right? Like a view of the city and some shots of, you know, what's going on in the city, and not a lot of explanation about the characters or anything like that. Some weapons, some, you know, just cinematic stuff. I think we'll see more of those kind of trailers leading up to launch. For sure.
Yeah. Sure. And I think it would probably be smart for them to touch on some of the systems that they've got in play, because there's a shitload of customization to this game. I think it would be wise for them to kind of show off the different kind of things that you can do. Maybe do what they've done. They've done that one mission where they've played it through, but it was only a single playthrough, but they changed the play style multiple times. Maybe a smaller mission and show it 2 or 3 times, but really show off how versatile the game is and how everyone's gameplay is going to be different by going, right, this is a stealth run, this is an action run, this is a hacking run, you know, something along like that, and really show off, like, fuck, that's impressive. Like, that's going to be crazy different. Kind of like what Watch Dogs Legion's going to do, you know, is you can play as anyone. Something like that's really going to catch a lot of people and go, wow, holy shit. Games say you can, every game's different, but this shit is looking like it really is. Everyone's play style is going to be completely unique.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool. I, for one, am incredibly excited. I've already pre-ordered a bunch of bloody shitty merch to put back there, and just to, you know, have a, like, your kind of like your PlayStation Lite, but the Cyberpunk one, and some statues and some bullshit. So I'm excited.
You're gonna have to remove the Borderlands mask, mate, and replace him with some Cyberpunk stuff.
I think I might put the Johnny Silverhand and the V statues there and fuck that off.
Oh man, some of the cool shit that's gonna come along with it, like not just the stuff you get as a part of like the collector's edition, but just I can imagine some of the props that are inspired by the game, like some of the cool little things that knickknacks people are gonna fucking decorate their spaces with.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be some cracker streams. I think some people are gonna really go all out in the full cyberpunk ways, I guess.
Yeah,
Bit of collector's editions, man. That I want that Ghost of Tsushima collector's edition, the mask. You get the full ghost mask.
Yeah, that looks
that
dope.
was sick.
dude,
Give me that.
ridiculous.
Too bad it's like fucking $300 Australian.
Jesus Christ.
Well, what's another mortgage between friends?
Yeah, that's right. Which you would need for all these. Holy
Oh
shit.
my god,
The other part is,
expensive.
what do you think they're going to do with marketing towards either Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5?
When does the
that's a great
marketing
question.
PlayStation 5 fucking begin? Like
Fuck no, who knows?
After-
Ones, I guess.
after like what you said before, it makes a lot of sense for them to drop all the PS5 stuff after Last of Us Part 2 and after Ghost of Tsushima. Like, you know what I mean? Like after you have the big send off for the console where everyone buys it, people enjoy them for like 2 weeks, and then there's an announcement of like PS5. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to jeopardize the sales of those systems.
Yeah.
It's
Farewellers, if you will.
Yeah, that's a hard one for Sony, and I think it's obviously one they've kind of been forced into. Like, if you think about it, you would imagine they would have wanted Ghost of Tsushima out maybe a few months before, like a few months back, because The Last of Us 2 is a sequel, and it's huge. Like everyone knows that game.
Built-in
You
fan
could announce the PlayStation 5, within that time frame of The Last of Us 2, because they could stand side by side next to each other and still get the limelight.
And that's the thing. The Last of Us was meant to be out
If
in
you
March.
announce Ghost of Tsushima, and PlayStation 5 next to it, like it'll bury
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima being a new IP.
Everyone knows that like it'll be on PS5 as well. So it's like,
Yeah, of course it's going.
do I even bother? Like, am I going to buy a PS4 Pro so I can really enjoy this, or am I even going to buying it on PS4? Should I just wait 6 months or a year and get it on PS5? Like, you got to commit them.
That's why they've done
it's a hard
collector's edition for Last of Us 2, because they're like, well, let's sell some more consoles and then we'll bring it out on next gen anyway.
Yeah, 100%. That's what they did with Last of Us, like part 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought it twice. Fucking, I'll do it again. Jesus, I'll buy it on PS4 part 2, and I'll buy it again on PS5.
Well, hopefully you don't have to.
I mean, fuck. As I said, I have a PC, so it's like,
Hopefully
what
they
else
do
am I going to buy?
something similar to Smart Delivery, though, especially with their exclusive games. Like, it would be good to see games that are on PS4. Like, obviously it's going to be backwards compatible, but get an upgrade for PS5, especially these two games that are like the swan song games. I think
If they did it PS4 Pro, I would assume that it would be, expected for the PS5. You know what I mean? The enhanced versions, Sony like heavily encouraged the developers to enhance the games.
I think it's gonna be a mandatory thing. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be a thing. If you bought it on PS4, and then you plug it into your PlayStation 5, I think you'll just get a patch that'll just go, here you go.
I hope so. Yeah.
More frames, better resolution. We're just giving you options to choose from.
Yeah.
How you want to play it. It doesn't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be that
significant.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And as much as it is, like, obviously, it's a great move by Microsoft to do. It's only really it's Microsoft are just giving everyone the option and saying, well, we're going to make our first party guys do it.
Yeah.
Like, EA have already come out and said, we're not doing it. Like,
yeah, they're doing
we're
it for
not gonna do it
Madden
for
for like 3 months or some shit. It's
Yeah,
like if you don't buy Madden this year or something like that, you won't get smart delivery. It's like, that's such bullshit. Fuck off.
and EA are like, what? Probably they're up there with one of the biggest publishers.
Absolutely.
Out there.
Yeah.
And they're not doing
Like, he's got gambling debts it needs to pay off. I feel like he's like just always trying to fucking
Loot box
turn
games.
a dime, turn a trick, and just make some cash.
Yeah, no, the whole PlayStation 5 thing would be interesting to see how they do.
Yeah, I'm very excited to.
Which I think we're going to see it a lot. To me, they're following what they did with the PS4. They're doing it beat for beat. Really,
Yeah.
We didn't see the PS4 until June before it released.
Yeah.
Wait,
didn't-
did
we
we see PS4 before Xbox?
No, it was announced at E3. It was
we
shown
didn't
off at
see-
E3.
We didn't see the like console though. Like
Yeah, the console was shown at E3 for the first time. They had the reveal event in February. They had a thing where they showed off a couple of games like Killzone, but you didn't see the console.
But at E3 they physically showed it. And didn't Xbox do the same thing with their whole like focus on TV? They didn't show the console.
It was terrible.
And then later on they did.
Yeah, and that was this fucking Xbox mate just tripping over and stumbling in front of everyone.
That was shocking.
You know my favorite quote from that fucking presentation?
I read that presentation. Xbox, turn off. I don't want you. I remember watching that presentation and just like cringing, mate, going, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Like 2 in the morning or whatever, and to watch that.
It was horrible to watch play out. And then watching their reaction, having everyone watch it, like just Don Matrick and all that going, well, if you don't like it,
oh my god,
360.
Yeah, if you want a game want a console that you can play offline, we have one. It's called the 360. It's like, you are so fucking out of touch, man. That's so bad. Fucking hell.
Well, he didn't last long. So let's give that a fucking pass.
Thankfully, they've
and I love the whole it's nearly a meme now where Shu and whatever that other guy is.
It's more than a fucking meme.
The whole sharing. This is how you share on PlayStation. They just went, here's the game, and it works. I love how they literally filmed that at the back of E3.
Yeah, that was embarrassing for Xbox.
After what Microsoft came out and said in their press conference the day before. Yeah, and I think that's pretty cool. But they still take it that serious.
That was so
they want to get up on top of each other.
To be honest, though, like the original plans for the Xbox One, like totally made sense in 2020 in terms of like always online,
for sure.
Like DRM. It's just like Steam essentially, where like you have digital rights management. The disc, you don't own the disc, but you own the license to it. Like I feel as if they pitched the same shit that they pitched back in like 2016,
nearly get away with
2013.
100% they could, because like all of that stuff is not only just like expected, but it's kind of like, I don't know if it's celebrated, but it's like people want it. They want that ability to like,
I guess the step
cloud have access to it across multiple locations, things like that. The
step too far, even if that was a thing now, is like you put the game in your console and then no one else can use it. You can't, like, there's no used games market. There's no lending games to friends. There's like no having 2 consoles. Well, I guess you could do that, but I think even that now would be just a step too far. I think people would still tear it apart.
The lending part, that's probably the biggest holdout.
Yeah.
Is a physical disc owning something and saying, "Hey man, do you want to borrow this?"
Yeah.
Like that's hard to let go of. Everything else though on their agenda of what they were trying to push, I think would be generally accepted
now.
in this day and age.
But now they got Game Pass. So.
Yeah, but they're fucking no, different situation now, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, boys, it's been a pretty much longer show than I thought. So I think we might wrap it up there. How about tell us what you're doing with your lives, Dylan? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Citizen Music. Yeah, nice. You can find me on Twitter at CitizenSmith14.
Perfect.
And or on YouTube as Citizen Smith.
Nice. Gray, how about yourself?
Clear and concise.
Hell yeah.
I've been Gray, Aussie Gamer, mate. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube.
And the podcast?
And the podcast, yes, Two Left Thumbs podcast. The puppies and myself record every Tuesday night. That's right, because today is Wednesday.
It is.
It goes live on Wednesday.
I still haven't. Oh, mate. I've been back at work for a couple of weeks and I'm still like, what day is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
I feel you on that.
Definitely check out Gray's content. He does amazing reviews. The podcast is awesome. Give the boy some love and go give Dylan some love. Does some awesome music and shit like that too. So he's a good boy.
Thank you.
Nah, it's all these boys. Elliot, oh my word. Direckt, thank you for having us on
No
your
worries.
incredible little show.
My pleasure. Hopefully next
We
time
thoroughly appreciate it.
my computer wants to work a bit better. Discord and my camera don't want to fuck up, but I think we did all right. The audio, I think, is the main thing, especially in a podcast. So thanks for joining me, boys. And thank you for watching this second episode of Controllers and Coffee. If you have any suggestions for topics to cover on next week's episode, drop them in the comments below. I'm going to try and get around to doing this once a week with some awesome people around the globe. So trying to work out international time zones is a bit of a pain in the ass. So stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter at Direckt Gaming, youtube.com/Direckt Gaming as well. And we'll speak to you soon. Thank you, boys. Enjoy your evening.
Will do.
Thanks, man.